So my name's Aaron, I'm a facilitator at Inner Mastery, and a couple of weekends ago I took Iboga for the first time. The reason that I took Iboga was that for a few weeks beforehand I felt that my life was completely falling apart. Through a bunch of circumstances, I'd lost where I was living, I'd lost a lot of money, I'd lost a huge chunk of income. My motorbike had broken, so I had no way to get around. And I was in a lot of debt that I've had for many, many years. So in this place, as all these things were happening, I decided to turn over 3 tarot cards. The first tarot card that I turned over was the Tower. And the Tower signifies that everything in your life is collapsing. The second card that I turned over was Temperance, as if to say, have patience. And then the third card was the Ten of Wands, which is a man carrying a large stack of wands, a big load, to the top of a hill. And it means you've been carrying around a very heavy load for a long time, but you're nearly there. It's nearly time to let it go. And as I turned over these 3 cards, I began to understand that what was happening to me was perfect. And I began to trust that there was something beyond the material that was going on. Because of the situation that I was in, I decided to go to try Iboga. I drank the Iboga at 10 AM on the Friday morning. And after around an hour, I felt that nothing was happening except that I was very, very, very depressed. I was lying on a mattress, unable to move, and all I was being shown over and over again was the fact that I had no money. And this lasted for around about 4 or 5 hours. And I asked for a bigger dose. I asked for more Iboga because I felt nothing was happening. What I didn't realise was that I was so deep into an experience that I couldn't even perceive I was in the experience. So after I drank the second dose, I was transported to Africa, and I found myself on a slave ship. And in this moment, I began to feel all the pain and suffering of the slaves. All the anguish, all the hopelessness, the fact that there was no way out. This part of the Iboga process lasted around 24 hours in total, after I'd first drank. And after the 24 hours, I was in a state of absolute despair, of hopelessness. I began to believe that I had no one to turn to, that no one was going to help me, and that I was completely alone, and that my entire life was a complete failure. What Iboga was showing me was my deepest fear. The thing that I've spent my whole life avoiding, running away from feeling. And then a miracle happened. In this moment where I had nothing, where I was completely alone, with no attachment, a flash of love occurred. And I comprehended that I'm completely free. That the character of the slave is the one that I've been playing my whole life. Constantly in debt to others, constantly owing people, and never really allowing myself to be me. In this moment, I let go of who I thought I was. I saw it for the lie that it is. And I connected with what I really am, with my potential. Over the last 2 weeks, my life's completely transformed. I feel an infinite sense of power, like I can achieve anything. And things are happening in my life, things are manifesting in my life that reflect this attitude. I turned over another tarot card 4 days ago, and this time it was the Two of Wands, which is a picture of a man holding a globe in his hand. And in this moment, I really feel that the world is mine. The Iboga for me marks the end of a great transformation in my life. It feels like a circle's closed. A circle that began 3 years ago, the first time I came to a retreat and drank ayahuasca. And the person sitting here today is a very different man to the boy who sat here 3 years ago. The difference that I feel between ayahuasca and Iboga is that ayahuasca works on a much more emotional, a level of feeling and emotion. It's more of a gentle, gradual process. What happened with Iboga was a complete smash, and it affected my mind, firstly much more than my body. It felt like my entire belief system was smashed in an instant, brutally, in a much more masculine way than ayahuasca. It felt like Iboga was the sledgehammer that I needed. The Iboga process for me lasted 72 hours. I didn't sleep for 72 hours after I drank the medicine. And in this time, I felt that the changes in my body were slowly being integrated. After my old belief system had collapsed, a new one was slowly being built. Whilst I was in the process, I couldn't understand that what was being shown to me was a lie. I had to believe it in order to feel it. And I couldn't have done it without the support of the amazing team in Berlin. The care that was provided throughout the whole experience was incredible. And it was really important for me to stay through the whole retreat, because if I'd have left halfway through, I wouldn't have understood that I'd not reached the end of the journey yet.